Hey gang, welcome to episode 20. We made it, episode 20 of Find Music. And our mission is always to turn you on to music you may not already know, based on artists you do know. And Fred, this is really like part two. Episode 20 is like part two of episode 18. He gave you Alex Chilton in episode 18. And now in episode 20, another member of Big Star. I better stop there. Let Fred do the talking. Go ahead, Fred.
Okay, Chris Bell was a major player in Big Star, and he didn't get enough credit because the press always interviewed Alex Chilton because he was better known, the better known member since he was the lead singer in Box Tops. And Chris Bell probably left because the lack of attention and the lack of understanding of how much he brought to Big Star. Unfortunately, he died at the age of 27 in 1978 in a car crash after recording an album, I Am the Cosmos.
Wow.
And it didn't get released for many years. And now I believe there's a 2 or 3 CD box set of I Am the Cosmos out. I'm going to be talking about an album that got released finally called Looking Forward, The Roots of Big Star, Chris Bell.
That's my cue. Here comes that cover. Okay.
He went into the Arden Studios just like Alice Chilton did, and that's where they finally met up. And like Alice Chilton, he was influenced by the British Invasion sound. The album shows he was a key player in a number of different bands, Ice Water, Rock City, amongst 2 or 3 others. And on the album, he doesn't always sing lead vocals, but he's on guitar and harmonies. And he does a number of songwriting. Some of these songs in the project show up later in the first Big Star album. And the disc shows just how far he was advanced in his songwriting with great vocal harmonies, like I said, and it's a musical journey, this album, a musical journey that's worth listening to. And it shows that the early drafts are so potent, so important, and how talented he was. He was a visionary. And it also shows that the first Big Star album wouldn't be the classic album that everyone raves about today without him. It's stunning, a reappraisal of his career and his artistic views. There is a light, there's a book called There Is a Light, The Cosmic History of Big Star founder Chris Bell, actually written about him and his biography. And there's also another book written on Big Star. I think it's over 400 pages. And there's a film on Big Star if you're not up on that group. So this album was recorded between 69 and 71, the cuts on this album, and each song's a thread that leads to the Big Star sound. That's what, for Big Star fans, this album is very important. It's full of pop rock with that British, like I said, that British Invasion sound, the blend of mod, and a little bit of psychedelic sound. Influences by The Move, The Pretty Things, The Beatles. There's a retro, it's retro, and it's also feels fresh and intriguing, a great musical journey. Throughout the early work, you see where his roots are coming from. You see a crucial part of this history of Big Star. Even though he's not around to be appreciated, He's getting plenty of acclaim now. And he may not be a big name or a ringleader of a large group that's famous, but he molded a signature sound that was so wonderful and energized rock and roll in the early 70s, the big star. And these songs are enchanting the same way. It's a great musical journey, an understanding of what Chris Bell was about, what he was building up to, and his essential role as a driving force in the group Big Star.
I got to be sure I got this right. This is really interesting to take all this in. Okay, so Chris Bell on this particular album, Looking Forward, these other featured artists, are they the singers?
Yeah, he was, all these people that are on the album cover are in different groups with him.
Oh, okay.
And actually, Jody Stevens ended up in Big Star with him. And I guess between him and Alex Chilton recording at the Ardent Studios at the same time, they crossed paths and formed Big Star finally.
Yeah, which brings me to my other question. This is fascinating to me also, what you're saying about Big Star. The early 70s, and you were saying in particular, 69 to 71 was the formative years for the band. Would you say that there was a particular sound to rock music in 69, 71 that's different than maybe in the mid 70s?
Well, the whole, in the early 70s, well, 69 to 72, you had like Crosby, Stills and Nash and other groups, you know. And there was a magazine on the West Coast called Phonograph Record Magazine. It was a newspaper, rock newspaper. They stood up for groups that weren't sort of the singer-songwriter folky groups. They stood up for groups that were mostly power pop rock and roll bands. That,
and it was a new concept then, right?
Yeah, they were coming back, you know, groups. There was a small movement that never took root in America called power pop rock around 73, maybe 74. It was Blue Ash. The only one that really became anything famous was the Raspberries out of that movement. There was Blue Ash, the Raspberries, the Pills. I think there was a group in LA called the Pills, or 2020.
Oh, 2020. Yeah, they had a song called Yellow Pill.
Semi-hit Pills.
Yeah, I remember that one. I bought that one in 79.
That was the power pop rock. There was sort of like T-Rex influenced. T-Rex was kind of part of that, even though T-Rex was more in the glam rock era.
Yeah. Wow. And speaking of Beatles parallels, I like to think of Badfinger as maybe.
Yeah,
Power Pop Bridge
in that same genre of power pop rock. Yeah, definitely.
Fascinating. Okay, so just to sum up here, episode 20. Hey, fans of Big Star, if you think Big Star ends at Alex Chilton, you're wrong. Chris Bell, a tragic figure, dead at the age of 27. Wait a minute, 27?
Yeah.
He's a member of the 27 Club.
Yeah, he's one of the lesser known members.
Oh, ouch. Well, before he
died
passed
in a car crash on a mountain in Switzerland. Slid off the
my.
road or something.
Oh, it hurts just to hear it. Oh,
yeah.
Well, I'm going to check out the music because you've got me so fascinated that this music is like the bridge between the 60s and the 70s, really.
Yeah.
Moving into that sound.
They were growing. Both artists were growing. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Fred. Okay, gang. I better stop sharing. And keep on caring. There we go.